Cut. Hello everyone. Welcome to Improving Your Production. This is a sort of different bit or different type of video I'm going to make sparingly for the YouTube channel. Think of it as an extension to the behind the scenes videos we put out for the production department, where I'm going to teach you production techniques I learned in school and in the business itself, so you can apply it to your own production, whether you come to work at the studio or not. And here we're going to have, it says right here, Improving Your Production, Part 2, Saving Audio in Premiere CC. Let's say you go out and film something, and you only got one shot. This is the movie star is in town, and this week only, and you can only film one take, or at least one shoot. I hope not one take, but you only have one shoot to film it. And if you film it, you're like, great, it's fantastic. And you come in here into the editing table, and you're like, man, I can't wait to edit this great thing I just made. And
hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast, episode 1.
Ooh, See here now you got. See, the way I see it now, you have three options. You cry. 2, you cry a lot. Or C, because you're smart, you know a couple of techniques that you can use in Premiere to fix up some bad audio. It won't be perfect. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, because when you have this echoey distortion,
my name is Melanie Santressa.
when you got that, ain't nothing you can do to save it. But you can definitely make it better. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's diagnose the problems. Let's take one more listen.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today.
I hear two things. One is that there's a hiss. Probably from the AC, because this was filmed in KC, South Carolina, and things are very humid. So the AC is probably going. Unfortunately for you, that means it shows up in your microphone, because of course it will. 2, the audio is echoey. So there's a distortion of Melody's voice. Melody is our host of our Prime and Prim podcast. This is where this footage comes from. That we got to fix. So we got to fix the echoing, and we got to fix the hissing. The good news is, if all you have in your audio is hissing, Premiere CC literally has a plugin that you can use to immediately get rid of it. It's called Denoiser. You can find it in Audio Effects and down into Noise and Grain. Oops, unless I'm in Video Effects. That's not right, huh? There you go. Audio Effects, Noise Reduction and Restoration. I'll give you a clue. And then Denoise. This is the plugin. You could also just search Denoise and it would highlight it. But you're just going to drag that effect right up here on your audio that you want to fix. And it'll bring up your effect controls in this tab. And it will have added it about here, actually, in this little panel. Now, it's not, you can't really mess with it yet until you actually click Edit on the custom setup. And then it will bring up this beautiful interface. So I'm going to cut it off again real quick to show you the with and without. The wax on and wax off. So this is the audio without the denoiser.
My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and...
You hear that buzz? We're going to get rid of it. We're going to cut it on.
Santressa, I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast.
Now it's going to sound worse. I can hear you saying, wait a minute, hold on a minute. Oh, and this is supposed to fix things. What the heck? Don't worry. We have to tell the denoiser exactly what to do. See, it has 2 settings. Well, 3 rather, if you mess with the gain, but we're not going to mess with that. It's plenty loud as is. The processing focus, which indicates what frequencies of sound that the plugin will highlight. You can either do all, I don't recommend all, lower, mid, lower and higher, or just higher. And then the amount that the denoiser compresses, which is the sort of a strength of the plugin. I know for a fact, based on listening to the clip,
Melanie Santressa, I am your host today.
That low buzz is kind of making a sound. So I'm going to focus on the lower frequencies because it's a low sound. It's a low hiss. You might have a crummy microphone from 2005 that has that really bad power hiss in it. You know what I'm talking about, the kind of noise. That's a high hiss. You're going to aim for the higher frequencies. But for this example and for our example, we're going to go for the lower. Now here's the thing. Even after you select the right frequency, you kind of need to play with it a little bit. So let's cut it back on.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime.
And now the hiss is gone. But there's another problem. You could definitely do too much and your audio will sound like this.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host.
If you hear that kind of weird, warbly, soupy kind of sound, for lack of a better term, it's not really soupy, but you know, it's just kind of that well, well, well. That's what happens when your audio mixing is bad. You're actually compressing too much.
Everyone, my name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today.
But I think for our purposes, 49 or 48 would be good.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name
Maybe even 52.
is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast. Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast.
So that was what it was like without the hissing, with the denoiser added. Let's cut it off. Hear how it sounds then.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime.
Hiss on, and with just a quick few settings.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast.
Hissing gone. See, you're already doing so much better with your audio. But there's still the other thing we mentioned. Remember, it's that doggone echo.
Everyone, my name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today.
Bad. No good. You can't ever completely get rid of echo. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. And if it's really, really bad echo, even this next technique won't save you. But if you're trying to get your audio to sound just right, in our case, we want to make sure we actually hear what Melody is saying. You can equalize it using the parametric EQ. I don't use the simple. I prefer to go in depth because knowledge is power. So once again, you can search parametric or go down to audio effects, filter and EQ, and find the parametric equalizer. And just like the denoiser, plop it down in your audio, and it'll be added to your effects. Once again, press edit to sort of bring it up. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. Now there are presets, but once again, I'm going to show you how to use it for real, help so you understand what it is. So all an EQ does, it's kind of similar to the denoiser in which it focuses on frequencies of your audio. In this case, you have a healthy selection of 6 areas of frequency. The difference in between the denoiser and the EQ and the equalizer is the equalizer, because of its complexity, allows you to precisely modify what is made quiet in the sound, what parts of the sound I should say is made quiet, and what parts you make louder. And this will change the way your sound is heard, or how you hear it, because you're literally changing the sound itself. I'm going to set these back to 0 because we don't even know what we want to do yet. So let's take a look at the sound.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie.
See? It's different parts of the sound. The lows, the mids, and the highs. No extreme height, but I guess you can't even really hear that anyway, so whatever. But let's take a walk through the settings real quick before I tell you about the seek and destroy method. Here we have the volume, which is it's gonna make your output clip, what's actually gonna show up here louder or quieter. You're definitely gonna mess with this just a little bit after fiddling around with this a lot, because you might make some things quieter. But for now, let's leave it alone. Here we have frequency, which actually dictates what portion of the sound a band is going to target. So for example, even though this is labeled L for low and it targets the 32 hertz portion of the sound, I could bring it up to 664 and put it right smack dab where 3 is. But there's no need for that because we already have something. We already have 3. Gain, which is how loud or quiet you make a part of a sound. See, if it's higher like that and in positive down here, it's going to be louder in your final. Compress it, it's going to be quieter. And this is the Q width. This actually dictates how steep this curve is. By default, it's at 2. It's kind of a broad range. You can bump it up to 10 or probably even higher and get a very narrow, specific range to target. And speaking of target, I'm going to show you the seek and destroy method using this accentuated peak in the bands. So let's review. An equalizer, all it does is it cuts your sound up into frequencies and then allows you to adjust the different parts of the frequency. So for example, if we put on a high pass filter, which should be what happens when you press that, but if you put on a high pass filter and squish it by a lot, it's going to change the way your audio sounds.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host.
Sounds like she's in another room. To give you a comparison, this is what it's like without this.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host.
See? Change the sound. We got rid of the high sounds, so all that's left is the mids and lows. Let's cut it back on and set this back to normal. So the seek and destroy method. When you have an echo in your audio, it's actually distorting, I should say, your audio. It's making it sound bad. Believe it or not, there's noise in this audio that we can cut out, but you can't really hear it. All you hear is the echo, right?
Welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the...
You might be saying, well, how do I know what to turn down so it doesn't sound as bad? And so that her voice is clearer. Well, first you're going to turn... To do this, you got to seek and destroy. You're going to turn down everything in the sound. As far as it can go until it doesn't even show up anymore. The line. Not the dot, the line. It's like negative 16 seems to be what is working. So we'll just turn everything down to negative 16. Except for 3. I'll show one in a minute. 16. 16. Honestly, I could turn high off. See, you can actually push this down here to turn it off and remove it entirely. But I'm just gonna, yeah, there we go. So now we only have the mids.
Hi, welcome everyone.
It sounds terrible, but don't worry, it's supposed to. You can turn the gain up to 10. That gives you a point. Actually, a very sharp point. So actually what you're going to do is you're going to grab this dot or move this, sort of move it around the sound.
My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast, episode 1.
You're listening for something.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today.
You may actually just go up to this, make this a little easier. This is a very exhaustive, experimental thing. You kind of have to fiddle with it.
For the Prime and Prim podcast, episode 1.
Okay, so here's the thing. Distortion in sound kind of sounds like a weird tinny hiss or just a weird distorted noise. So from what I'm hearing, when we play this back,
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your...
Listen as I move to the right, the sound will kind of go woo, 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 as it gets more distorted. Because that's where your noise is. That's what you're trying to find to get rid of. This is seeking and destroying. Listen close.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast, episode...
Actually, it seems to be right there. See, listen.
Hi,
Sort of
welcome
normal.
everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast, episode 1.
it's subtle.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your
But there's a little bit of distortion in here. And since I've edited this clip before, I actually know there's more in the high, and I'll show it in a second. But it seems to be there's distortion here. So I'm going to turn this down to here. And I'm actually going to turn this back up, because now I want to play with this.
host today for the Prime and Prim podcast, episode 1.
You can really hear it here. Might turn up the output so you guys can hear it easier.
Hi,
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
welcome everyone. My name is Mel.
Start that over.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast, episode 1. Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your
There. This little range of frequencies, because we already found it already in here in 3. There's a little bit here in 4 too that you can hear if I play it. So let's move from this time right to left.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast, episode 1. Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast.
Hear that kind of
Hi, welcome everyone. My name
Maybe I need to enhance its volume.
is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast.
There's some stuff there too. You hear that?
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast.
You hear it? That
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast.
So as we've determined with our seeking and destroying, there's a little bit of distortion in these fields. Everywhere else seems relatively fine. There's some in the high, but the distortion's mainly coming from the mids, which makes sense because, listen, the echoes are kind of
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie.
in that kind of the mid range. It matches the tone of her voice, so it's kind of in here. So with that in mind, now that we've sought out, we've seeked what we got to get rid of, put all these back to normal. Put them all back to normal. All at 0, so they're not being manipulated in any way. Put these back at 2, so your width is wide for these. And now you're going to take what you've identified, this band of frequencies here, and suppress them. You don't want them as loud. You're not going to get rid of them because it'll sound bad. It'll sound like this.
Hi.
It'll sound like this.
Welcome everyone.
You just want to make them less loud.
Welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today.
I might actually play around with the 2s a little bit as well.
Welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa.
The 3 won't hurt.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast.
So once again, it's a subtle thing, but listen. Now that we've suppressed it, we've destroyed what we sought out, seek and destroy. This is with the effect off.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime and Prim podcast, episode.
Here's with it on.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Santressa. I am your host today for the Prime. Melanie Santressa. Santressa. My name is Melanie Santressa. Is Melanie Santressa.
It's very subtle. It's not much better. I'm going to be honest. But it's a little better. And just a little bit better, when you have some iffy audio, it's better than nothing. But more importantly, if you have a hiss, I showed you how to get rid of the hiss. So that counts for something. You can cut out all ACs and bad microphones out of your production. But this brings me to my final point. I worked my darndest here in Premiere and only in Premiere. And I've spent 20 odd minutes fiddling around with the EQ and with the denoiser. And my efforts, other than the hiss, aren't much better than the default. You know what would have saved me 20 minutes of work? Maybe playing back the footage one more time, when I filmed it. Just going, all right, wait, that was a good take. Let's make sure the audio's good. And listening to it with headphones. I can't stress it enough. And when it would have been like, oh, wait, never mind. It sounds like crud. We got to redo it. Try to get it right the first time. And you don't have to do any of this. And your editor will thank you later. I promise. But if you have to get in here into the nitty gritty and do it, I've shown you how. That's one technique I've learned. But this is only in Premiere. There is actually a slightly better way to do it in a software that Adobe has designed that's even better for audio mixing. And that's Adobe Audition. And that's a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more powerful in dealing with echo like this. It may actually produce a better effect. But that's a tutorial for another time. I wasted enough of your time already. With that in mind, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't expect these too often, but like and subscribe, and I don't know, maybe leave a comment, hit the bell if you want to see more. This has been Owen Gambrell, the production specialist at Prime and Prim Studio of the Arts. And you can learn this and more if you join the studio. But in the meantime, you can learn a little bit more if you stay tuned and keep improving your production. So long for now.